knowledgeable about the place of the celebration and the matters connected thereto. And more so, Mr. Chair, it is a common practice that when one applies for a travel authority, it goes with the travel authority, the invitation or the program of the activity. Kayo po'y operations head. Wala man lang hubang program or invitation where we can make reference as to the place of the celebration and the officials who are supposed to be there other than the SDO.
Your Honor, for the 2024 Thanksgiving activities, Your Honor, I just learned that
Is it Thanksgiving or anniversary?
Thanksgiving anniversary. It's in line with the OVP anniversary, Your Honor. The title of our program, Your Honor, is Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving anniversary celebration of OVP. And
Thanksgiving activity.
And
Your
it
Honor.
ranges for one whole week.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you please cite again the inclusive period for that celebration?
Yes, Your Honor, from after our event on November 15, that is the 89th anniversary of the OVP. Right after that, we have our scheduled for the OVP Thanksgiving activities for all the 10 satellite offices, Your Honor.
Sandali po, ang pinag-uusapan muna po natin is celebration today.
Today, Your Honor, is the OVP Thanksgiving in Caraga, Your Honor.
And where in Caraga is it being celebrated?
It is simultaneously celebrated in, I've learned now, Your Honor, in our 3 municipalities. It's one city, Your Honor, it's in Hingoog, Magallanes, and Butuan City, Your Honor.
And why did you not seek for an excuse when you are the operation head and you're supposed to be the first person who's to attend that celebration?
Your Honor, because I went to Panay and Negros Islands already, Your Honor, last week. This is in it's municipality of Malay and municipality of Macataw in Aklan. So the reason why, Your Honor, for me to have a rest, Your Honor, my time also in the central office to sign few documents with regard to the medical and burial assistance. So the reason why, Your Honor, I need also to...
And how about the program and the invitation which are supposed to justify the travel authority of your SDO?
Your Honor, with regard to the SDO, Your Honor, is I am the one who signing. I'm not the one who signed the document, Your Honor.
Yes, I understand. But as an operation head, you're supposed to receive as well. Diba? A copy of the program and the invitation. Because you're the focal person. In terms of field operation, am I correct?
Yes, but Your Honor, with regard to
Hindi ka ba nila inimbita?
for Caraga, Your Honor,
As operation head, you're supposed to be invited. Tama po ba ako?
as part of my job, Your Honor.
I wish to see the copy of the invitation and the program. Would you like to produce them today?
Your Honor, with regard to my Your Honor, with regard to my travel order, I'll provide the committee, Your Honor.
Which travel order are you referring to, Mr.?
For the schedules of the Thanksgiving activities, Your Honor.
What we are discussing today are the activities where the SDO is supposed to be present as provided in her travel authority. I do not understand why in her travel authority the documents which are supposed to accompany them, the program and the invitation, were not mentioned by Attorney Zulaika and Attorney Sanchez.
Your Honor, I don't have the knowledge, Your Honor, with regard to the travel order of our SDO, Your Honor, because I am not the signing authority, Your
But
Honor.
do you have a knowledge in as far as the existence of this program and invitations are concerned?
With regard to the OVP Thanksgiving for Caraga, Your Honor, yes.
You have.
With regard to, Your Honor, with
Do you have
regard to
copies?
Thanksgiving.
Do you have copies?
With regard to the executive refer, Your Honor, I have.
Can you please share it to the committee? The invitation and the program for the Thanksgiving anniversary celebration in Caraga,
Yes,
where your SDO is supposed to be present.
With regard to the presence of our SDO, Your Honor, I cannot give you
Because
with
that is the justification provided in the travel authority. So I suppose that he's there attending the activity.
Your Honor, I can only provide you, Your Honor, the executive brief of the program of the Thanksgiving in Caraga, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, can we please direct our secretariat to solicit the copy of the program of activity as well as the invitation, Mr. Chair? I'm referring to key officials only.
There are 5 key officials, Your Honor.
Can you please mention these 5 key officials?
The Undersecretary,
Can you please include the name?
Oh, yes.
Assuming this position.
Yes, for number 1, the Undersecretary, that is me, Zuleika Lopez. Our Assistant Secretary, Mr. Lemuel Ortonio. Our Director for Admin and Finance Services, that is Director Rosalyn Sanchez. Our Director for Operations, that is Mr. Norman Baloro. And our Director for Strategic Management Office, that is Attorney Sunshine Fajarda, Your Honor.
How important is this Thanksgiving anniversary celebration in Caraga? It's not even at the NCR. It does not even represent a regional representation because he made mention only of 3 specific LGUs. Why? Of all key officials. Bakit naman po sa dami ng opisyal ng OVP, ito pang matagal na pong iniimbita ng Good Government Committee na si SDO Gina Acosta at si Assistant Chief of Staff Ortonio ang nakaisip na mag-represent ng OVP sa Thanksgiving celebration?
Your Honor, I cannot answer that because for one thing, I was not the one who issued the travel authority. For another, I cannot presume to understand or know of the wisdom of the person who actually signed it. So, therefore, I cannot really directly answer that question.
To continue,
respectfully.
Attorney, it is not my intention to undermine the significance of those activities in Caraga. But we are thinking individuals here between defending the institution, the office of the OVP, and attending the Thanksgiving celebration in the 3 LGUs in LGU. Hypothetical lang po. Which do you think is more important?
Your Honor, every activity we roll out, whether it's in the NCR or in our satellite
Mr. Chair,
offices.
can we please direct our resources speaker to answer the question? This is a hypothetical question, Attorney Lopez.
Please
If you
answer
would be made
responsibly.
to choose, saan ho ba kayo pupunta? Sa hearing ng Good Government Committee, where you will be given the chance to defend the office pertaining to the issues surrounding it, particularly the utilization of confidential fund, or the Thanksgiving celebration in the 3 small LGUs of the Caraga region?
Your Honor, Mr. Chair, the decision to attend the committee hearing of this honorable committee is a personal one.
I understand, Mr. Chair, but this is a hypothetical question that is being raised to our resource speaker.
I can only answer for myself, Your Honor, and my decision was to attend today's hearing.
Thank you, Attorney Salaika. Now to proceed, Attorney. Tagasan po ba kayo? Where did you originate?
I was born in Davao City, ma'am.
Can you please enlighten us where in Davao at kailan po ba kayo pinanganak? At least the year.
Year 1974, Your Honor.
You were born 1974 in Davao City, and I understand you were appointed as city administrator for a long time of Davao City. May I ask, Attorney, kailan po ba yung first encounter ninyo with our Vice President?
My first encounter with the Vice President was really because of work, Your Honor.
In other words, hindi po kayo childhood friends, hindi po kayo classmates, you are not even friends prior to your appointment as city administrator. Tama po ba ako?
Your Honor, the Vice President was, I was an upper class of the Vice President in the College of Law of San Beda, Your Honor.
In other words, you were schoolmates during the law school years. Tama po?
We were schoolmates, but we were not, how do you call that, friends?
Acquainted?
Or acquainted.
So when did you become acquainted with each other?
When I took on the position of Secretary to the Sanggunian, Your Honor.
When was this, Attorney Lopez?
I think 2007, Your Honor.
So this is prior to your appointment as city administrator.
That is correct, Your Honor.
You were first appointed as Sangguniang Bayan Secretary in 2007 before you were appointed as city administrator from 2010 until 2022. Is my data correct? Are my data correct?
There is a gap, Your Honor, because for a time, the Vice President was not the mayor.
Yes.
So just for, I think, 6 years. I was city admin for 6 years.
Let us go to your position as city administrator, Attorney Lopez. Ano po bang functions ng isang city administrator?
Your Honor, the city administrator, in my experience, we actually develop plans and programs on how to effectively and efficiently implement programs and projects that are initiated by the local chief executive. That's one. And then another would be the coordination with all the city department heads. In the case of Davao City being a highly urbanized city, I think we have around almost 40 city department heads, Your Honor. Not to mention, part of my task also is to chair and preside over various committees of the city, such as the Zoning Committee, Tourism Board, Davao City Investment and Promotion Committee, etc. Totaling also more than 30 committees. Apart from that, of course, the city administrator is also tasked with the administrative delivery of administrative support services, particularly in times of disaster operations, notable of which is, for example, there's massive flooding, or in the case of COVID in 2019.
That is an ample function, Attorney Lopez. And in fact, our time allotted for committee hearing might not be enough for you to be able to share with us the so many functions of a municipal or city administrator. Am I correct?
Yes, Your
But
Honor.
I have some specific questions for you. As city administrator, do you recommend to the LCE the appointment of key officials?
Your Honor, in my experience, I never proposed a recommendation for key officials.
But do you believe that as a city administrator, you have the discretion, the power, the opportunity, the position to recommend people who deserves appointment as key official? With the ample function that you have shared to this committee, I believe yes.
Your Honor, perhaps prepare a short list for consideration, but I cannot really make that recommendation because that exercise belongs to the appointing authority. It's the
Yes,
local
but
chief
if the
executive.
appointing authority will be soliciting your position relative to the people who are supposed to be appointed for key positions, would you give your opinion concerning this matter?
Your Honor, in my experience as the city administrator of the Vice President when she was then mayor, she never asked me for any particular person or name that she should consider.
How about in the execution of contract in behalf of the LGU? do you give your legal opinion, especially considering that you are a lawyer?
Your Honor, in the city government of Davao, there is only one lawyer, and that is the city legal officer. So all contracts that are executed or performed or entered into are reviewed and given legal opinion by the city legal officer, Your
If
Honor.
there are occasions when the opinion of the legal officer is not in consonance with yours, don't you volunteer your opinion being the city administrator and a lawyer at the same time?
Your Honor, I can only confer really with the city legal. But at the end of the day, it is the city legal who will make that final recommendation to the city mayor.
In
Or the local
scheduling the LCE in very important meetings, do you give your opinion as well as to which meeting she should be giving priorities?
Your Honor, from the very beginning, that was very clear to us that we do not really involve ourselves in the appointments or the scheduling of our principal.
How about in
Then-
budget preparation, Attorney Lopez? Don't you give your insights about which item, which program needs bigger budget compared to the others?
In the preparation of the budget for the city government, Your Honor, what is being done is that the city department heads, all 42 of them, I think, more or less, make a presentation as to their priority programs.
Is it not that you are the one at the core, at the center of all these department heads, being the one representing the office of the LCE?
No, Your Honor, I sit in only as city administrator.
As
There
a
is
matter of
also
fact, as city administrator, you do help reconcile the budget of all the departments of the LGU. Tama po ba?
Your Honor, it really depends on the, for one, the presentation of all the projects and programs of all the city department heads. And then we make that presentation to the local chief executive. And then the local chief executive will decide which programs will be prioritized. We do not have
Do you mean to tell us that you do not recommend with respect to the programs which needs to be provided with budget?
Your Honor, my role really is that once there is an identification of a particular project, for example, may I be allowed, Your Honor, to give an example? Just a short one, a brief one. For example, our collaboration with the National Museum of the Philippines for the establishment and construction of the National Museum of the Philippines in Davao City. Right? So this was an item that was proposed by some of the city department heads. So it is one of those projects that we presented to the local chief executive. And once she says that, yes, we will do this project and the timeline is set for this period, that is the time that I, as a city administrator, come in and start talking to key officials from the National Museum of the Philippines, draw the necessary legal documents that will document.
You wanted to tell us, Attorney Lopez, that the LCE approves first before you have the hand of being part of that program or
Yes,
activity. Is that what you wanted to tell us?
that is correct, Your Honor, because my role really as city
In all
admin,
matters concerning the office of the city of the mayor, you wanted to tell us nag-a-approve muna ang mayor bago ka umakto as city administrator?
that is correct, Your Honor, especially in projects such
Attorney, if I may interrupt, that is quite hard to believe. Because as city administrator, you're supposed to check all the programs, all the concerns, all the decisions, all the matters that will be presented to the LCE before her decision. Is that not the real situation of a city administrator?
Your Honor, I can only speak from my experience working with the local chief executive.
If you are not giving these recommendations to the LCE, then who gives the recommendation?
Your Honor, in that example that I gave, that was an output of the briefing with the several city department heads. That was one of the programs and projects that was listed. These are projects that we prepare and report to the local chief executive for consideration.
Kanina po may binanggit kayong you're heading all the committees. Tama po ba yun?
I preside, Your Honor.
You also made mention about the different departments. What do you do with the different departments?
Coordination, Your Honor.
You coordinate with the different departments and you draft programs and do the implementation as well as the coordination with the rest of the departments of the LGU. Tama po ba yun?
Yes, Your Honor. For example, in the case that I mentioned earlier, ma'am, in that partnership with the National Museum of the Philippines, it has to be approved first that we will embark on that project before we actually proceed any further.
Are you aware that city administrator is oftentimes referred to as Little Mayor? Have you heard of that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. Why do you think the position of, or the person, the city administrator, the municipal administrator, the provincial administrator are being referred to as Little Mayor?
Little Mayor, precisely, ma'am, because you are the go-to person of all city government, city department heads, and then sometimes you traffic the deliverables and the projects that are expected per city department head. In other words, Your Honor, my role really, I am not a city engineer. I am not a city veterinarian. But what I do is, if there is an issue on ASF that the local chief executive wants addressed, I coordinate with the city veterinarian who is actually the expert on that program. That is my role, Your Honor. It's purely, how do you say this? Ensuring that they are able to come up with their projects that they have proposed themselves and it is delivered at a certain timeline as they have committed to the mayor.
You are correct, Attorney Lopez, that the department heads are the experts on their respective field. But I wish to believe that before the mayors, the LCEs, take an action on whatever they are being presented, she is being presented, it always solicits for the green signal of the city administrator because you are expected to check the genuineness, the propriety, the veracity of all the concerns, programs, and projects which are being presented by the various department heads. Do you agree with me?
Your Honor, I speak from my experience. That is how it was done when I was city administrator for the local chief executive.
Do you mean to tell us, Attorney Sulaika, that for the longest time, that is 2010 to 2013, and then 2016 to 2022, your
2016.
opinion and recommendation was never solicited by your LCE?